Mark McInerney, President and CEO of CodeMark Financial. Welcome to this webinar of a series we're going to be running. It's called The Realtor is Dying, and we're going to talk about today about Stop Lying. I am reporting today from beautiful Southern California. I just arrived here this morning, and here's kind of to show a little bit of the background. I'm walking in this beautiful nature trail up along a mountain. But the weather's so beautiful here, every time I come out here, which is quite often, I like to try to get out into the elements because it's just so darn nice. And it certainly beats the hot humidity that we share in Houston. Anyway, as I was saying, this webinar is going to be part of a series of The Realtor is Dying, and we're talking about today about stop lying. Now, you might be wondering, what does that exactly mean? The overall concept of this webinar series is going to be about giving realtors what they need to harness power, because the success in your business game in real estate has nothing to do with the amount of money that you're spending in your social media ads. It has everything to do in the way that you're able to harness power on a daily basis. And where most people don't realize that they are leaking power is when they are not living in the light and space of truth. Now, when you say, Mark, what are you talking about, the light and space of truth? Well, pretty simply, we lie every day so commonly that we don't even recognize that we're lying anymore. And there's all kinds of variations, excuse me, of lying. There's the blatant way of lying, which is what most people associate the definition of lying to be. Case in point, um, you know you didn't do something. Maybe your wife or spouse, significant other tells you, uh, I don't know, go pick up the kids. And you say, oh, I forgot. And yet, you know that there's kind of a lie there. And it was plain and simply you got wrapped up with work or something else kind of happened. Or the blatant lie of just plain and simply saying, hey, who broke this? And you're like, it wasn't me. And you know it was you. And then there's obviously a lie with that situation. But the fact of the matter is that, again, we're so used to commonly lying to ourselves that we fail to realize how easy we make lying happen. This webinar was actually pre-recorded yesterday. I recorded this because I knew I was going to be here in California and I was concerned about delivering a quality style video with very high level production. And that canned video already works or already exists. Problem is that when I ran it by with my team last night, I didn't feel like it worked and it bothered me. And even visiting with my team and saying, you know, guys, what do you think? Should we go ahead and deploy this? Even the team was like, yeah, don't worry. Let's just go ahead and get it out. Now, I could have done that, but when I tossed and turned last night, I realized that I wasn't comfortable with that because essentially there was a truth inside me of what I wanted to accomplish with the webinar. And had I gone with allowing the canned version to go out, I would have been lying to myself on what it was that I wanted to provide in terms of the information to you guys watching. And it's that case, it's those little things that we lie about daily, and we don't even chalk them up to call them lies. We don't even define them as lies. We just plain and simply just say, okay, I'll let that go. The problem is that this is how you leak power, because every day you're supposed to be harnessing power so you can go out and actually produce in the space of real estate. But it's hard to do that when you leak power in all of these small little areas and you actually give yourself the permission to leak power there. And what ends up happening, like as we are creatures of habit, you develop the habit of saying that this is okay. And you almost can't even recognize the powerlessness that comes from doing that. So it does start simply with saying, I'll stop lying. Now, again, hopefully you're not lying in the big manner, but stop lying on the little stuff because it's always just the little things you do every day that actually turn out to be the big things tomorrow. whether it's good big things or bad big things. But they happen with just perpetual efforts daily over and over and over and over and over again. So, how do you fix this? Well, I'll tell you what. The first thing is to just tell the truth. And it sounds easy. It's like, well, I get it. That sounds like kind of the oxymoron there, Mark. If I stop lying, I'm going to tell the truth. No, not necessarily. But start telling the truth. Let's use this in a case of real estate for you guys. You go to a listing appointment. You have a client. I'm sure you've had this situation happen before. You go to a client. They say, "I want to sell my house for $300,000." You're the expert. You run all the comps, and it's only worth 280. What do? Do you lie to just get the deal, or do you stand in your truth and walk away from it? What's interesting to think about a situation like that is that you'll want to appease the client, yet, but I'll have you consider the commission check you're chasing is not even yours until it's in their bank account. What does that mean? Well, let's use that example. If they want to list a house at 300 and then it sits on the market for 60 days, guess who do you think they start blaming? You. Even though 60 days ago you were like, it's only going to sell for 280. And man, tell me you haven't swallowed that jagged pill before when they cut you out of the listing agreement. They say, oh, I'm really sorry. It's just not working out. So you're out. And then all of a sudden they list it for 280 with the next agent and it's under contract in a day. And that happens because you didn't stand in the truth in the first place. Because we want to try to capture something that just really isn't rightfully ours. And believe it or not, the end game will play itself out so that if it was supposed to sell at 280, whether with you or not, it's going to, you might as well just stand in the truth because all you did in this case, again, as an example, you listed a house for 300, put your sign out in a yard, had everybody in the area look at it, and then realize maybe that agent isn't that competent. And you can see now how the ripple effect of that can actually, well, maybe destroy your branding. And then you start going to social media classes thinking, well, I need to do more social media. So, no, it actually starts all the way back with you. And it starts with stop lying. And if you've got buyers that want to run you around all over town because they can't quite figure out where they're supposed to be with everything, well, my goodness, why take yourself out of a place of truth for yourself simply just to capture that commission check on a buyer that may not even be qualified to begin with? This shocks me the most on the amount of real estate agents that I work with, and they will run around with buyers that apparently were never pre approved to begin with because they'll run around because they don't want to have that conversation. So they lie to themselves saying, I've got a deal going, I've got a deal going. Yet then they finally say, we found a house, they want to make an offer. Mark, can you pre approve them? And I pre approve them and I say, they're not pre approved. They have no money, they have no, their credit scores are bad or whatever the particular situation might be. And yet the agent lied to themselves to believe that what they were doing was purposeful because they felt like, well, I'm doing the right thing by them as an agent to be showing them around and seeing other properties. But at the end of the day, if the results aren't there, then what? Let me show you this view. So, as a quick takeaway, what do you do from here and how do you fix this? Take a look at this very quickly, though. Let's just say that out there is the sea of opportunity, your opportunity, the opportunity of what your real estate career could look like and begin to look like if you just started living in truth and if you stop lying. Because I'll have you consider that what you're doing is probably not working as well as you would like it to be working. And the first place to actually start in trying to make that correction, like I said, is to stop lying. So take this as an assignment. Over this weekend, considering that you might go on some listing appointments, you might work with some buyers that want to go out and take a look at homes. set the frame on exactly what it's supposed to look like for the purpose of working with you under your structure and under how you see yourself as a successful agent. And this may be a game actually for you to learn on one simple word, and that is to say no. Stop saying yes all the time. Because what's funny is when you overcommit, you actually make yourself really busy with being busy and get no fruit. But when you say no and you focus on what you can truly commit on and actually accomplish those tasks, you start building the platform for certainty to actually start being successful. And it all comes back to telling the truth. Have a great day, guys. I'm Mark McInerney, President and CEO of CodeMark Financial. Please share, like, comment, send me some Q&As. I'm happy to answer you directly. You can always reach out to me as well on Facebook. Look us up on YouTube. Again, thanks for attending and stay tuned for other shows to come. Have a great day.